Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from JKS, checking in on the solar sector. So we'll start off with our daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we were watching our key support level, which is 70.40, and then also our key resistance level of 76.13. And the reason why we care about that is because if this support got taken out and this high held, that would have made for a daily trend change. Firm lower high and lower low. And of course, if this resistance level breaks from here, this resistance of 76.13 breaks from here after holding this higher low of 73.09, then we would have a bullish trend change. However, I will say, of course, I continue to say this, that whenever we are in range, whenever we're range bound, basically, whenever we're range bound, you want to be a little more cautious with the trend change plays. So for example, back here, hide this. So for example, back here you have this high and then a higher low, a lower high, a lower low, no follow through, and then a bit of a bull flag fake out. We broke to a higher high after that bear break with no follow through, and then we saw new lows. That's a lower low, that's a lower high, and then here's lower by a penny here. So then we have this lower low again with no follow through, lower high, lower low, no follow through, lower high, a lower low, again no follow through, right? So it just lets you know that the bearish trend changes are really not getting much going, right? So we will be a little bit more cautious regarding the bearish trend changes going forward as we're in this range, right? So I personally, I actually didn't think about it until I noticed this, but just live analysis. I guess I would put more credence into the bullish trend change than I would a bearish one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just be mindful of the trend changes whenever you're in range, right? It's very important to consider context of a trade, and whether something is going up, down, or sideways is probably the most important piece of contextual information that a trader should determine before setting up the trade. And that's why these trades are set up like this, right? If you'll notice, why are they set up like this? They're set up like this because they cover the range, right? And we wanted to take these trades near the limits of the range as long as we're range bound, and just make sure that we had RSI at our back, right? Just an exhaustion tool, making sure that we have some kind of exhaustion tool, or rather some kind of signal of exhaustion as we approach support or resistance, right? It doesn't get better than that. It's all we can really bank on as traders, right? Buy support, sell resistance at the end of the day. Okay, so what we have here is also a bit of it's not a very common, or I guess it's not a very talked about pattern, I should say. This is the potential to be a continuation head and shoulders. May sound crazy to you, where the traditional head and shoulders, it looks like this, right? Looks like something like that, perhaps, right? But this continuation head and shoulders, however, is essentially, it's upside down, but not inverted, right? So this is the left shoulder, have this right shoulder, and then the head, and then this potential right shoulder. Okay, so you know what? I can pull it up. Okay, looks like this. Continuation head and shoulders pattern, right? So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Hang on for the bearish side. Okay, and here's an example. So it is documented. I'm not crazy. I mean, I can be both. It can be both. Okay, so we have this potential. We're looking at it now, but the key resistance, of course, as mentioned earlier, 76.13. Bulls must break this level in order to have us come test these highs and try to confirm this megaphone to the upside, I guess you would call it. Yep. Okay, and so would we be scouting a weekly lower high? I don't think so. If the Bulls were able to get this, if the Bulls are able to get this daily trend change, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, two. I wouldn't be surprised to close this week with an inside bar. If the Bulls can get that trend change, I think very likely we'll set an inside bar at under 80.86. Okay, so let's see here. Shorts and interim trades, short-term trades. Really the same thing, and I don't even I don't even care to adjust the levels at this point because it's exactly what I want to see. I want to see hourly overbought or oversold into my short zone of interest or my long zone of interest. Right? So exact same trade really. And if you wanted to, I believe I highlighted another trade, and it was just the EQ, just bottom fishing the EQ. I think that was on a different ticker. Anyways, again, I have too many. Okay. Anyway, so that's all we really care about, in my opinion. Again, we are range bound, so as long as we're range bound, we want to play that range, and I would feel much more comfortable playing to the long side after all those daily trend changes that got no bear follow through, as opposed to playing the short side, especially if the markets can stay, strong or neutral. Okay. All right. So I think this is going to be a pattern. I don't think any of the trades highlighted got hit because we're just still in this kind of tightening range. So everybody's in this tightening range. JKS is the same. You have this high, this higher low, this lower high, excuse me, compared to this one. This higher low compared to this one, lower high, higher low. So we're just in this EQ tightening range. That's what we're watching out for. Could still be a weekly bull flag. It doesn't look the best. It's not the cleanest looking bull flag. I should say it would not be the cleanest looking bull flag, but it's there. It's tight consolidation, big old pole. So that is still alive. That's still very much alive for JKS, and maybe we can draw some trend lines. I feel like maybe a trend line might be more helpful than this channel at the moment. Well, actually, pretty good hits. It's actually containing structure pretty well. So let's stick with that. All right, so same thing with JKS. I just want to play the range, and because it's a flag, I know that we can potentially get bear breaks like these with very little follow through. So especially towards the long side, I want to be very conservative. Look for a channel test down here. I want to make sure the hourly is oversold if I'm going to start my scales. And the short side, I don't love it. I mean, by all means, the trade is there, top fishing, but knowing the macro formation is a potential bull flag, potential monthly bull flag, I don't love it. I don't love the short side, but that trade is there because I mean this can continue to tighten for a long time, right? As long as we respect this channel, I would say the flag is still very much alive, and so we could very easily just continue to channel down for some time. The monthly bull flag, right? So you want to change your temporal expectations when you're trading the different time frames, right? If I'm sorry, it's the weekly bull flag, right? So if it's a weekly bull flag, then maybe we can get tightened for another like 3 or 4 weeks. So we could be in this easily for another month, even. And maybe it's not a flag, right? Maybe we set a lower high, break to lower lows with some follow through, and we'll be looking for a monthly higher low. Anything over 1142 being one. All right, so short-term trades again. I just like these fish in the range, overbought or oversold. That's it. Run. Okay, so sun run. This is a potential weekly bear flag. It's a potential weekly bear flag, so that's something to look out for. And so if we get daily trend changes with little follow through, that will be a red flag, and it will definitely suggest it will add confidence to the bear flag hypothesis. So, and they have the potential. They actually kind of did say the bulls just changed the trend. So we had this bounce, higher low, lower high, double bottom, and then higher high. So I think this is a bit higher than. So technically, this is a higher low. Technically, you could say they changed the trend, but really the key resistance for me is 61.24. So if they were to break over 61.24 into this, our zone of interest for a potential short, and then consolidate right away, that would make this weekly bull flag more likely, in my opinion. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we're just same thing. We're just trading this range. It also kind of has a head and shoulders look. Okay. Well, maybe some clues from Run. Run was the weakest name. It was the canary. It started consolidation way before Tan did. So we can continue to watch Run for some potential clues. Bulls will breathe a sigh of relief if they can get some follow through over 61.24. Okay, but in the short term, same thing. Range breaks. I prefer actually for Run. It's kind of in the middle. I don't mind either or the short or the long. In my opinion, as long as we're range bound, is they're both viable. Zones of interest or potential short. Okay, FSLR. All right, so Bulls showing up to play defense again. They continue to defend this previous resistance level, now acting as support. You can see it's very active here, right? The Bulls are continuing to show up and play defense here. My zone of interest continues to be a bit too conservative, but eventually they may meander into it, I suppose, meander into the channel, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised by like a quick flash, if anything. Breakdown, test this channel support. Either way, same idea for the most part. Let's check the macro chart actually. Right, okay. So inside bar is very likely given the previous month's range, but the question is, how tight will it be, right? Ideally, it won't get any more lower than this, and we'll just have a nice inside bar that stays above all of these previous tops here. So for the monthly close, Bulls really want to close over 71.87. That would be ideal. The higher the better. Weekly, not confident yet in that higher low being set. The daily time frame needs that trend change for us to be confident in that weekly higher low. This air break got very little follow through, but still, we're just ranging. We're just watching this range. What the hourly trend looks like. So you could say the bulls changed the trend, the hourly trend with extended hours on. It's not great volume, so they'll want to confirm that during regular trading hours with a break over 81.78 to have bears scouting a daily lower high under 95.72. Okay, so potential short in this area should we get up there, ideally with hourly overbought conditions. In the near term, though, we are much closer to potential that actually. Okay, so if we're looking for this long trade, then we can be bottom fishing the channel support like so, making sure that it's hourly overbought, hourly oversold when price gets down there. And then we can be doing the opposite. Hesitant short side, just because this has a bit of a wedge. Of a wedge look. But a trade's a trade. If we get up here in hourly overbought conditions, I can almost guarantee you, I shouldn't say that, but it would not be unreasonable to think that even if the bulls were to see follow through this zone, that there would at least be an initial reaction if we push up into all this price action and have hourly overbought. Okay, so same thing as yesterday for the most part. Little something for everybody. Shorts and longs, depending on how these consolidations break, as long as we are range bound. Bound is the word of the day. This is very messy now. Plug. Okay, so Plug had some dilution news. Of course, I think we covered that last night, and it has lost this channel structure, which has contained the entire move up. So big red flag, in my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that it can't just pop up in there again, but for now, it's a bit of a red flag, and you can see that. I thought it was better than that. Yeah, it looks better on the 15 minute. You can see that the backtest was a good place for a potential short, and so today, that wasn't from yesterday. I was looking for potentially a higher bounce yesterday, I believe. That just didn't work out. looking for up there, and the bulls just couldn't get anything going up there. The short was over here, and so it was just a nice back test of the channel. Wonder if 5-minute was flirting with overbought conditions. Yep, nice short double top too as well. So back test of that channel was now we ended the day in a, well, let's see, start with the day. So the bulls are just looking for a healthy daily high or low. Okay, and anything over, I should say, 1369 would just be a healthy daily high or low. So there's plenty of space in which to do so. However, this is the most meaningful move down that we have seen in a long time. Obviously, it came on the back of dilution, and now the hourly time frame is honestly not bad. It's fairly healthy. Just in an hourly EQ, you know, the only concern is, again, we lost that fib channel. That channel, I mean. Okay, so this channel that held the entire move, losing that is a bit of a red flag. And if we were to come up here, test these tops against this channel support, trend line now potentially resistance in hourly overbought conditions, or rather 5-minute overbought conditions, because we're looking for an hourly pivot here. Not a bad place. I drew this up earlier today. Obviously, it didn't get up there, but I still like this trade. Yeah, just looking for a back test of that channel rejection, testing all of these highs up here. That being said, remember, you know, it's a very strong all-time high bull. Okay, so always cautious against blue sky bulls, but also just in general. General is a bit trickier in my opinion. Like, hope is stronger than fear. So key support going into tomorrow is 22.35. If the bears can hold this level here of 23.18 and break this low of 22.35, they will see continued hourly downtrend, because it is currently an hourly downtrend. So hourly downtrend into an EQ. Key support for continued downtrend, and the key resistance, ideally bulls will show up tomorrow, hold 22.35, break 23.38 to change the hourly trend, and have bears scouting for a daily lower high under 25.49. I wouldn't be surprised by some, honestly, just by some healthy consolidation. Bulls showed up to buy the dip. Consolidation was on low volume. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with just some healthy consolidation. So caution on this short. And if you are looking long, then perhaps you can just use a trend line to help you out here. Good hits, just like that. So maybe if we get a bear break into this area down here as well, not a bad place for potential long. But you just want to make sure that, because again, you're looking for that daily pivot, so you want to make sure that the hourly really will be extended. It's not, would not be terribly extended down there. So you want to move your zone of interest a bit lower, something like that. Include all this price action. Be here, or I should say. Oh, someone. You're looking long, something like that. Alrighty, that about covers it. Thanks for tuning in. Man, why do I keep running? Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.